everyone! Today is my first fall kickoff video and it's part of a really big, awesome playlist I'm going to tell you about in a few minutes. So we are starting off with this gigantic picture from Hobby Lobby. Original price was $20. I paid like $6.50. Go check out Hobby Lobby because they have a lot of their spring collection on sale and that didn't look like spring to me. I did do a full coat of the Nantucket blue from Folk Art, and now I am just going over that with some white wax from Folk Art as well. I was channeling my inner Unicorn Dust Designs. She just recently did a couple of videos where she did a lot of white wax stuff, and I loved it, so I'm gonna make some too. So I did, like I said, a whole coating of it, but then I actually do go back and try to give a little bit more detail into like all of those little grooves and everything. And once you kind of like layer it on however much you want to, and then I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel and then go back with a little sponge to give it a little bit smoother of a look, if that makes any sense to you. I think it might. So here it is once you've gotten like the full like coating on there. And sorry, you keep hearing noises because I talk with my hands and I keep like banging into my desk. So like I said, I am going to just go back after that first coat has thoroughly dried. I did it the next day and I just wanted to add a little bit more detail because it wasn't coming across as much as I wanted it to. It would just look like a solid coat of it, which is fine. You know, that was a nice look to it as well, but I wanted to give a little more detail into all of those little grooves that are in this little picture. Well, not so little picture. And I thought I was done, but then I was like, you know what? It needs a little something more to make it look a little bit more French country-ish. And here are some rub-on transfers that I got from Plaid. I get them off of their website. They are a folk art brand, so sometimes you find them at Joann's. Sometimes you can find them online at Amazon. I'll link it if I can, but these just kind of added like just the right touch. I held it on and used a popsicle stick, and then here I am just pulling it off. What I do is I pull it off really slowly and I hold one corner of it. That way I can see it on the film if it didn't take, but it did. So it looks just perfect, I think. And of course I'm going to style it with some gorgeous leaves. Those are all from Dollar Tree, just to give it another fall touch. Now I've got the top part of a photo box. It's like a wood photo box. Random, I know. And I'm going to just do a full coat of the Waverly chalk paint in plaster on the top, and then I'm going to take the Folk Art wood tint in walnut on the sides. Now taking my gorgeous Chalk Couture transfer, I am going to do a lot of this right here. What you're seeing right now is called fuzzing. I am a Chalk Couture designer, so if you are interested in any of them, let me know. I'd love to help you pick out some, or I could definitely have, I'm going to have all of the ones I used today linked. The most of them are from one sheet. I did use like a little part of another one just so I could give it a little bit of a fall touch. So you smooth it all down once you've got it placed, and now we're just going to take our paste. This is in the color Eucalyptus, and I am just going to plop it all on top of my transfer and then I'm just going to rub it all in there, get it wherever I want it. I'm going to skip out on the word. There's a little word on the bottom. I skipped out on that part because I'm going to put in a couple of them and I didn't want it to be too wordy. There's going to be words on it in a minute. I just didn't want it to be too wordy. You don't really need a lot. A little bit goes a really long way. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did do some wax on top of the paint. They make a wax specifically for this purpose, and I'll have that linked for you below too. So now there's another part of this transfer. It came in a really big sheet where I had, I believe, 3 different of these little plant things. We're going to just go with that. And see, I've got all 3 of them. I used them and I just kind of let this one kind of like trail off the side a little bit. And I just thought it was a really pretty touch. It's just going to bring in, like I said, some of that very shabby chic French country kind of look. I'm sticking with all these same colors. Most of this work I did with my mini squeegee, but then I'm going to pull in my multi-tool. I made a joke. I always said, like, this is like the Gerber of chalk. If you know what a Gerber is. Leave me like a little fun emoji down below so I know that you know what I'm talking about, where I'm going with this. And then I've got this Thankful and Blessed part. This came off of like a little pack of 3 from like obviously a fall collection. And I am using the color that I don't remember. Hold on, I'm looking at it. I'm going to use the color Colonial Blue on the wording, and then I'll use eucalyptus on the little sprig things that are on the sides of it. I thought it was cute. It kind of like tied it in. It kind of kept it not like super spring looking to me. It made it, you know, it kind of brought us into a little bit more like fall. And I was trying to keep with this same color palette. You know what I mean? Like I've got the green, I've got the blue. You're going to see more of all of these colors here in a minute too. So I was like, this is just kind of keeping us all in, you know, the really pretty same family. It really takes like no time at all for this stuff to dry. Like by the time I was done cleaning off the stencils, they were just done. So here you go. Super pretty, very feminine. Love it. So like I said, huge playlist. All of these wonderful, talented women are a part of it. I'm going to have it linked for you below. Go check it out. And if you're coming over from the playlist and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here. And there's going to be a gigantic giveaway brought to you by CJ. And just make sure that you are commenting with the word world. So make sure you do that on all of the videos to get entered. On to our next DIY. I'm taking these old candle holders. I've had these things for probably at least like 5 or 10 years, something ridiculous. You can't really see them very well. They've definitely faded a lot. I am just going to give them 2 coats of Nantucket blue, and it's just going to be like magic. You can now see like all of that gorgeous detail, but I am going to bring it out even more. I'm just going to pull in that white wax again. I'm going in, making really careful, you know, making careful to make, I can't talk today, being careful to get into all of those little crevices and everything like that. And you want to work in smallish sections, you know, depending on what you're working on. And obviously the more you wipe away, the less you see. So it just kind of depends on, you know, the overall look that you're going for. It was so funny. I started these projects and I have a big thing of clear wax. And I actually, you'll see it's a project at the end. I actually coated a pumpkin. No, just a little bit of a spoiler alert. There's a pumpkin in here. I covered a pumpkin in it and I was like, this is not giving me the desired effect. So I had to go out to Hobby Lobby and buy like the little tiny bottle of it. And I tell you what, I was like putting blinders on, trying not to look at the stuff, trying not to look at fall stuff because it's on sale and I love it. And I had to just avoid it. But here they are. Sorry, just talking through it all. But they're super, super pretty. Very feminine. I love the new look of them. So I've got this little plaque from Dollar Tree. It's a 5x7. I've already sanded it down and painted it in Shadow Sage. And I'm going in with that clear wax again, just going through and giving all of the kind of like the corners, the nooks, the crannies, a little attention with it basically. And I am wiping off the excess. Now it does not show up as much as I would like it to. I went with this Shadow Sage color instead of like the Waverly Moss, but I kind of feel like I should have done the Waverly Moss. It would have shown up a lot more. And now I've got some more of those rub-on transfers from they're folk art, but they're from the company of Plaid. You know what I mean. And I wanted to do it on all corners of it, but it just was not going to happen. So I applied them the same way I did on the first project. And now I'm just going to give my little plaque some feet to make it into a riser. These are from the Dollar Tree. They are from a little like brain teaser game. I thought that they'd be really pretty. I have a bunch of them that are also the like natural colored wood, but I liked the darker tone. I thought that that was like a good, you know, a good contrast basically. So now we're going to take the good old antique wax to the rescue. I was like, you know, you really cannot see that white wax for anything on this. So I went ahead and just pulled out the antique wax. I'm giving it, you know, a little bit more of a dry brush. A little more on the edges just because I was like, I want that to really pop you to really see that detail on there. And then I'll start with a much drier brush, kind of starting to go over all of the stuff on the inside. I'll dip in a little bit more just because I needed, you know, I was like, you can't see it at all. So let me just go a little bit more. And here it is, all finished up. I think it's just perfect, like little touch to add to this whole bunch of projects. So I have pumpkins. How can you have a fall video without pumpkins? Got these from the Dollar Tree. I got 3 of them, and I'm just gonna pull out this little leaf and get it all ready, and I'm going to just spray paint it with some matte spray paint. That was a Sammy from Unicorn Dust Design tip, and I'm going to go through and paint them. I've got the Nantucket Blue, Shadow Sage, and Whispering Wheat. These are all folk art paints, and I had to do between 2 and 3 coats, just depending on the color. The blue was more like 2 coats, the other 2 were probably 3, just because it ended up taking a lot more to cover it than I kind of expected. So the Nantucket Blue, the white wax shows up like perfectly. Like it's absolutely perfect. It's perfection. I tell you what, I'm loving the look of it right now. And like I said, I just kind of went around, I put on a pretty decent coat, wiped it off with a paper towel, and then kind of smoothed it out with the sponge. I know, guys, it's a lot of steps. But it just kind of depends on the look you want, you know, that kind of thing. You could also, you know, just dry brush it in the areas that you want to, you know, kind of show it off more in. It just really depends on you and how extra you are, I guess. Today, I was a lot extra. It was so funny. I made a few projects for this, and I was like, you know, it's just not quite done yet. And then I made one more. I'm like, no, it's just still not done yet. So I kind of added on a couple here, a couple there, and I was like, I just need, I don't know. Sometimes I get in the feeling like it just needs more. So again, antique wax to the rescue, and I've actually already done the white wax on these, and you see you can't see it at all. So I'm just going in with the antique wax just so it, you know, you can tell it's pumpkin. Otherwise it might look like an apple that's obviously not ripe. But I was like, I don't want any apple looking pumpkins. I want pumpkin looking pumpkins. Try to say that fast. It just does not work. All right, so like I said, just go ahead and coat those little guys with whichever wax you like the best, because it's going to look gorgeous either way. And I was trying not to go too crazy heavy with, you know, the antique wax, just because I was like, you know, this isn't super, super rustic. It's got a little bit of a country tone to it, you know, because in my mind, at least, these are French country. These are fall French country. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys will have to let me know. I kind of felt like these were like a little French country, a little shabby chic, a little cottagecore, maybe even. I'm going to throw all those titles in there. Here they are, all finished up though. I think they turned out really cute. And here it is all working so adorable all together. And I really appreciate all of you, and I wanted to let you know I've got something super fun coming up. I'm going to be doing this Chalk With Me collab with a bunch of friends that are Chalk Couture designers. You can definitely grab the same transfer we're going to be using. It's all about pumpkins. You know how it is with fall. And you can chalk right along with us, and there's going to be a hashtag to follow. I'll have all of those details for you down below. Go check it out. Go check out the playlist, and I will see you next time.